Hey, what's good guys, welcome to this tutorial. In this video I'm gonna show you how to create a cover art like this in Blender step by step, and we're gonna make some changes in the elements, but the main concept will remain. And the usefulest thing that I'm going to cover in this tutorial is compositing in Blender, which really works like a magic with your renders. So let's get started. But before we start, I want to tell you that you can find the final project file of this tutorial and all of the other tutorials on my Patreon, and you can also find some exclusive tutorials there too that I will upload more of them, so don't forget to check them as well. I'm going to add a plane to my scene by pressing Shift A. Here in the mesh section, choose a plane, and after that I'm going to add a text here. Then I'm going to press Tab, delete this text default. I'm going to type Thug Life. I don't know why, but because I'm listening to Tupac too much. Then I'm going to go here in the text properties and on the font section, choose my font that I will put the download link in the description. It's a free font which is really cool. Then I'm going to bring it up by pressing G and Z, and by the way guys, you can see what I'm doing right here if you get confused or if you lost anything. Then I'm going to go to the geometry section, bring the extrude up to something like this, 0.07, and after that I'm going to the modifier panel, add a remesh modifier to this, change it to sharp, uncheck this, remove disconnected, and increase the octree depth to 9. Yeah, that's it. Now it has a better geometry like this. Then I'm going to add a bevel modifier, and after that I'm going to add the subdivision surface modifier. Yeah, I'm going to enter a T for the angle of the bevel modifier. Then I'm going to leave it like this. After that I'm going to select this plane, hit S and enter 2 to scale it up, and select my text. Then I adjust my text in the center of my plane by pressing GX and GY to move it in the Y and X axis. Then I select my text and move it down by pressing GZ close to the ground. So now we need some other elements, and as you might doubt, we're not gonna make it all by ourselves because it takes a lot of time, and if you are really working on a cover art and you have to prepare it in like 2 or 3 days, you can't model all of the stuffs in your scene yourself. So I went into the CG trader and I searched for an AK-47 and its bullet. Unfortunately, I found 2 perfect and 3 models. The AK-47 is this, which is for Balgenium, and the bullet is this, which is for Chris Mora, and a big shout out to them. And I will put the link of these assets in the description so you can go and download it too. For downloading the assets and for the bullet, make sure that you download the Blender 2.8 file, which is this. And for the AK-47, I recommend you to download the format 2 of this file, which is the first one, and you must download the textures file as well. So okay guys, after downloading the project files, I'm going to here, file, import, FBX format, and I'm going to import the AK-47 model first. Here is the model, and immediately after I added it to my project, I'm going to hit M, new collection, and name it AK-47. Then I'm going to hide my main collection. Then I hold Shift and select one of these objects. Then I press Ctrl J to join all of these things together, and after that I'm going to the shading panel, and here in the shader editor I select the principal BSDF. I hold Ctrl Shift and press T. Then here I open the texture folder, select everything except the JSON file, and just click on this, and boom, that's it. It's our AK-47. And for the bullet asset, I'm going to open it directly because it's blend file and we don't need to do all of these stuffs. We just need to go there and select one of these bullets, press Ctrl C to copy it, and go to our main project, press Ctrl V to paste it. Here we go. And I will put it in the bullets collection. Guys, I figured out the bullet has a bunch of keyframes on the location and rotation and scale of that, so we need to clear them, and just right click on these and choose clear keyframes to clear all of your keyframes. And now I hit Alt G to bring it here. Then I turn on my main collection and select the AK-47, and I hit RX minus 90 degrees in the number pad, and then I hit 7 on the number pad to go to the top view and place the AK-47 by pressing G, rotate it by pressing R, and scale it by pressing S, and adjust it like this. After that I select my bullet, and first I make a duplicate of it by pressing Shift D. Then I take it here in the bottom area of my plane. Then I duplicate it by pressing Shift D, hold and pressing Y to move it in the Y axis. Place it here, and immediately after I duplicate it, I press Shift R to make a bunch of duplicate of this. Then I hide my plane and select all of the bullets and unhide my plane. Then while these bullets are selected, I'm going to the object menu, transfer section, and choose the randomized transform. Then don't touch anything here. You can open this menu and play with these two X and Y location axes to move your bullets randomly like this, and then just play with these values. You can enter random numbers for X and Y location axis and the Z value of the rotation to make some randomness in the rotation, and you can also play with the random seed until you get happy with the result. And whenever you get happy with that, you can change the position of them, and you can also make some randomness by yourself and manually by duplicating them, Shift D, rotating them R, and moving them by pressing G. Then just select the bullet we duplicated at first and go for it and do the same. You can play with the rotation and make it straight and get some duplicate of that, use the randomized transform again, and so on. And in this case I'm cool with these elements, guys. You can download more assets in CG Trader or anywhere you know and add to these elements, but it's fine to me, and let's continue and doing the other things in this tutorial. I use the cool scratchy metal material on my text that I shared the tutorial of that in my Patreon, so you can go there, watch the tutorials and do the same, or you can just go there and download the asset file and use the same material I'm using in this project. Otherwise you can use the simple metal material, which is easy and works good. And for the plane I just use a high roughness black material. So now I'm going to add a camera to my scene by pressing Shift A, add a camera, press G and Z to move it up, Alt R to reset the rotation, and here in this panel I'm going to enter 90/20 for both X and Y resolutions. Then I'm going to click right here and choose vertical split. Here I'm going to press 0 on the number pad to go to the camera view and enable these show overlays and gizmo, and press T to disappear this menu. Then I'm going to the camera properties and enter 25 for focal length, and go here to viewport display, enter 1 for this one, for this value, and move my camera down somewhere like here, and I'm going to press home to have my whole artwork here. And after that I'm going to do the lighting, but first let me change my render engine to cycle and change the device to GPU. And remember to enter 64 or 128 for the max samples. It helps you a lot with your render time. Then I'm going to switch to render view here and go to world properties, enter 0 for strength. Then I'm going to add some lights. I'm going to work with area lights, but you can add whatever type of lights you want. I'm going to add one, bring this up here, change the shape to disk, decrease the size and decrease the power to something like 5. This helps me with my reflection somewhere like here. It's fine. I'm going to duplicate it somewhere like here. I love these two lights. After that I'm going to duplicate it, put it here, rotate it, bring it down like this, increase the size, increase the power a lot, and yeah, this is cool. And yeah guys, it's not very complicated, just follow along with the video and you will be fine. I just duplicate the side lights and put it in the right side, then I duplicate it again and make a big light because I want to eliminate the darkness in my scene. But be careful that you decrease the power of the soft light a lot to something like 15 or 20, and yeah, that's all about lighting. You can also change the color of the side lights to blue and red to give a kind of police light effect, but I prefer to get along with white color lights. Now we have got to get a render of what we have done so far, and after that we'll go for the compositing and the main part of this tutorial and project, which is really cool. You will see. This is our render after compositing, and this is the raw render. So let me explain for you how to composite your renders. So when you got a render of your image and you had something here in the rendering workspace, you should go to the compositing workspace, and when you came up here for the first time, there is nothing, and you should checkbox this use nodes option to these nodes appear. And after that you should add an viewer node by pressing Shift A, and just search for a viewer node and connect this image to this, then enable this backdrop button, and here you go. This is your preview, but I'm not comfortable with, so I'm going to take this here, go for an image editor, and yeah, this is my preview, so you can do this too if you want it. And yeah, then make sure the Node Wrangler add-on is on, and you can enable it by going to edit, preferences, add-ons, and search for the Node Wrangler and checkbox the Node Wrangler add-on here, and then hold shift and right click and drag here to make this little vertex, and when you connect whatever image to this one, it shows the preview in the backdrop and here. Now first I'm going to add an image node here, pressing Shift A, search for an image node and open a wall texture, which I put the download link of this texture in the description of this video, so you can download it from there. After that I'm going to add a mix node and put it here. The first image input will be the render layers and the second one will be this wall image texture. After that I'm going to change this mix to multiply, then I'm going to enter 0.4 for the factor to decrease the strength of this image texture, and I'm going to search for an exposure node, put it here, enter 1 for the value to make it a bit brighter. After that, I press Shift A, search for an blur node, directional blur node, put it here, connect the image to image and image to this vertex to have a preview of this and see what we are doing. I'm going to enter 4 for this first value, enter 0.05 for this distance value, and it's a bit much. I'm going to enter 0.02. I think it's better. Yeah, it has a very cool effect. Enter 180 for angle and enter a really little number for spin. Then I can duplicate this mix node again, put it here, connect the image to the first one, connect this image to second one, and just set it to mix and enter a really low number for the factor, something like 0.05. Then connect this to this. After that, I'm gonna add a glare node here, put it here, connect the image to image and this image to this one to get a preview of what we are doing. The compositing blender is really cool and editable. Yeah, I love this effect. So for this glare node, I'm going to enter 8 for streaks, enter 2020 0.5 for angle offset, enter 0.5 for mix, and enter 0.85 for fade. Yeah, this is a really cool effect. So I'm going to duplicate this and change these streaks to fog glow. And let me show you a trick. I can select this glare node and hold Ctrl Shift and press D to duplicate it and to keep this image value here. It is very helpful for me. So for this glare value, I'm going to change the streaks to fog glow and change the size to 9 because we can't do more. After that, I'm going to connect it to this to see what we have done. Yeah, it's cool, but I'm going to add an exposure node before that to have a better glow there. I love it. Yeah, this is fine. We can enter 1 for mix value to see. Yeah, it's cool. We're gonna mix it with our main image. To combine it with our latest image, I'm going to duplicate this one by pressing Shift D, connect this image to the first input image and this glare node image to this. And after that, let me connect this one to this to see our final composited result. Don't forget to increase this value to something like 0.2 or less. Yeah, I think it would be cool. Yeah, I like it. After that, I'm gonna duplicate this one again, put it here, connect this glare node to this image, and it will combine everything together. Yeah, I like it. It's kind of cool, but we can increase this value to something like 0.4. It's not bad, but I wanna add an exposure node behind this glare streaks node to see the result. Yeah, I love it. Now it's very dope. But we can also play with this factor to find the best result that we are happy with that. Yeah, I love this and I leave it like this. I'm going to save it by pressing Shift S, render, final render. That's it. We saved it and you can see this is our raw render and this is what we have after compositing. Thanks for watching, guys. This is the end of this tutorial. I really appreciate your likes, your subscribes, and so on. And again, if you are looking for the final project file of this tutorial, you can find it on my Patreon, so see you there. Thanks for watching again and goodbye.